This is a lesson for R-3 day 2. All right. Yesterday we did day 1. All right. Today is going to be day 2 for R-3. This is the stuff that we did back in October from chapter 2. All right. It's all about solving equations. In yesterday's lesson, we talked about solving one-step equations where you just did the opposite operation to solve it. We also talked about yesterday two-step equations where you get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first. We also talked yesterday about distributive property, where you have the parentheses and you have to take the number outside the parentheses and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. Yesterday, we also talked about combining like terms. This is where you have x's on the same side of the equal sign or plain numbers on the same side of the equal sign, and we added those together. Yesterday, we also talked about variables on both sides. When you have a letter on one side, a letter on the other side. Remember that if it's a positive letter, you have to subtract it from both sides. If it's a negative letter, like here in number 16, a negative 2x, we would have to add it to both sides. So keeping that stuff that we did in mind from yesterday, the first type of question that we're going to have today are multi-step equations. So these are 3 and 4 step equations. There's a very specific order that you have to go in. You have to do the distributive property first. So the first thing that you're going to be looking for in our problems today are the distributive property, where you have parentheses. You always want to do the parentheses first. The next thing that you're going to be looking for is combining like terms. This is where you have letters like 2x and 3x on the same side of the equal sign, where we want to add together our like terms. Remember, there might also be some questions, and we will have one in the notes here, that you have plain numbers on the same side of the equal sign that we can add together too. But remember, when we combine like terms, they have to be on the same side of the equal sign. The next type of question the next thing that we're looking for rather are variables on both sides. This is where you have a letter on one side and a letter on the other side. Then we also have to look out for invisible sets of parentheses. Now, the invisible sets of parentheses are going to be in number 20 here, and we'll get to that in a second. So take a look at number 18. In number 18, when we go to solve it, we want to look for the distributive property first. So the first thing that we want to do is get rid of these parentheses. We get rid of the parentheses by distributing and distributing. Multiply the number on the outside by both of the things on the inside. So we have 3 times n. 3 times n is 3n. We have 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So we did the distributive property to get rid of those parentheses. Bring down everything else that you didn't use yet. So bring down your plus 2n, bring down your equal sign, bring down your 19. The next thing that we want to do is we want to combine our like terms. Notice that we have letters on the same side of the equal sign. We have a 3n and a 2n on the same side of the equal sign. So we could add those n's together to be 5n. Bring down everything else that we didn't use yet. So bring down your plus 9, bring down your equal sign, bring down your 19. Now we just have a two-step equation just like yesterday. Remember, our goal is to get the letter all by itself. To get that letter all by itself, we need to get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first. So here we need to get rid of this plus 9 by doing minus 9 and minus 9. Remember, whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So those 9s cancel out. Bring down your 5n, bring down your equal sign. 19 minus 9 is 10. Now you just have a one-step equation. In a one-step equation, this says 5 times n. Remember, when a number and a letter are next to each other, that means times. So to solve it, the opposite of times is to divide. So we're going to divide by 5, divide by 5. Always do top divided by bottom. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So we get an answer of n equals 2. Taking a look at number 19. First thing we want to do is get rid of these parentheses by distributing and distributing. 12 times x is 12x. 12 times -4 is -48. Bring down everything that we didn't use yet. So bring down your equal sign, bring down your 3x, bring down your -3. Now, we don't have, in this problem, we don't have combining like terms. We don't have letters on the same side of the equal sign. These letters, the 12x and the 3x, are on different sides of the equal sign. Since they're on different sides of the equal sign, what we want to do is we either want to add or subtract them from both sides. Add them if it's negative, subtract it if it's positive. I always like working with the smaller of the two letters first. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Why I like working with the smaller letter first is because that way you're going to work with less negative numbers. So you do have your choice, though. I could have done -12x and -12x. 12x minus 3x is 9x. Bring down your -48 that we didn't use yet. Bring down your equal sign. Be very, very careful right here. What we are bringing down is a -3 because there's a minus sign in front of the 3. So now you just have a two-step equation, just like we had in the previous problem over here. We want to try and get this 9x all by itself. So we need to get rid of that -48 by doing +48 and +48. Those 48s cancel out. Bring down your 9x, bring down your equal sign. -3 plus 48 is 45. Divide by 9, divide by 9. And we get top divided by bottom. 45 divided by 9 is 5. Now, take a look at number 20. Number 20 has the invisible set of parentheses in it. Anytime that you have this fraction type question and you have an operation in the top, so either an adding or subtracting in the top part, that means there's really an invisible set of parentheses around that top part. Because there's that invisible set of parentheses around the top part, we're not going to do +5 and +5 first. What we're going to do is we want to get rid of this -7. We get rid of the -7 or divided by -7 by multiplying by -7 and multiplying by -7 because it really had 2x minus 5 divided by -7. So we have to do times -7 so that these cancel out. Bring down your 2x minus 5. Bring down your equal sign. 5 times -7 is -35. Now you just have a two-step equation, just like we had over here, just like we had over here. So we want to do +5 and +5 to try and get that 2x all by itself. So we have 2x equals -30. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and you get x equals -15.
How'd you get
So,
negative? Oh,
so
wait, no.
those are multi-step equations. All right. Take a look at the next one. All right. In the next type of problem, you have no, one, or infinite solutions. So your final answer is either going to be no solution, one solution, or infinite solutions. It is no solution when all of the letters cancel out and you're just left with two numbers that are not equal to each other. For example, 4 equals 5. That doesn't make any sense. Therefore, it is no solution. One solution was just like all three of the previous questions. All of these would be one solution because what we got in the end was x equals a number, or like in the first one, n equals a number. So that is one solution when it looks like this, x equals a number. Infinite solution is when you end up with the same exact thing on both sides. Now, it might look like this, 3x plus 4 equals 3x plus 4. It might look like this, 6 equals 6. It might look like this, where you just have letters and they're the same, they're equal. So let's take a look at number 21. In number 21, now we still have to follow that same order as before. We want to do the distributive property first. So we want to get rid of these parentheses by distributing and distributing. So I didn't use my 7.5x minus 10 at the beginning of the problem, so I'm just going to bring that down. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2.5x is 7.5x. So I did the distributive property. The next thing that I would look for is combining like terms. I don't have letters on the same side of the equal sign, so I can't do combining like terms in this problem. But what I have is a letter on one side of the equal sign and a letter on the other side. So what I want to do is I want to do variables on both sides. It's a positive 7.5x. So I want to do minus 7.5x and minus 7.5x. When I do that, these would cancel out and these would cancel out. So what I'm left with is negative 10 equals 6. Negative 10 does not equal 6. All of my letters canceled out. I'm left with two numbers that are not the same, that are not equal to each other. So therefore, this is no solution. That's actually what you're going to type into the answer box today in class K. In number 22, we don't have any distributive property. We don't have any parentheses, but we have letters on the same side of the equal sign. So what we want to do here first is add together our like terms. 8x plus negative 2x is 6x. Bring down everything else that we didn't use yet. So bring down your plus 7, bring down your equal sign, bring down your 67. All that we have here now is a two-step equation. Minus 7 minus 7. So 6x equals 60. Divide by 6, divide by 6, and we get x equals 10. 10 is our answer. That is the only answer, is 10. So this has one solution. That one solution is x equals 10. Take a look at 23. In number 23, I don't have any parentheses, so I can't do the distributive property. But what I have are letters on the same side of the equal sign. Negative 2 plus 7x is 5x. I also have plain numbers on the same side of the equal sign. I can add together my 10 and my negative 5 to be a plus 5. Bring down everything that we didn't use yet. So bring down your plus 5, bring down your equal sign, bring down our 5x. Now, when you take a look at this, notice that we have a 5x plus 5 on one side of the equal sign, and we have the same exact thing, 5x plus 5, on the other side of the equal sign. Since we have the same exact thing on both sides of the equal sign, this would be infinite solutions. And again, that's what you would type into the answer box today. The last type of question that you're going to have today are word problems. What you want to do is you want to set up a 1 or 2 step word problem and then go from there. So in this first one, it says Aaliyah had $24 to spend on 3 notebooks. After buying them, she had $12. How much did each notebook cost? Well, it says that she had $24 total to start off with. That's how much money she started off with. So that's her total. That's going to be our equals at the end of our equation. She bought 3 notebooks. So 3 notebooks, what I'm going to write for 3 notebooks is 3N. 3 times the cost of 1 notebook. After buying them, she had $12. So $12 was her change. So when you add together the price of the notebooks and her change after she bought them, that gives you your $24 that you started off with. So this one is just a 2-step equation. We're going to solve that equation by doing minus 12 and minus 12. It's just a 2-step equation. So 3n equals 12. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And we get n equals 4. So the price of 1 notebook was $4. When we take a look at the last one, it says at a restaurant, Jacob and his 5 friends decided to divide the bill evenly. If each person paid $9.83, then what was the total bill? Well, when it says Jacob and his 5 friends, that means we're taking a look at 6 total people. So you sort of got to reverse engineer it where you got to think backwards. If we start off with the total bill, which is what we're looking for, and we divide it by 6 people, how much does each person pay? They each pay $9.83. So it's our total bill divided by 6 equals the $9.83 per person. So all this is a one-step dividing question, just like yesterday. X divided by 6. So we want to do times 6 and times 6 to find our answer. 983 times 6 gives us 58.98. That was our total bill.